I have a question to propose later on, but first, let's talk about racial wokeness. In order to appeal to the small percentage of woke, why is it that we bow down to their demands by changing actual history or changing characters and once living persons, races, and backstories in TV shows and movies? We change the race of an actual, previously existing person in our world history for a television show about their life, and this is considered okay. We change history to a narrative that we are more comfortable with, damning the actual facts. We stereotype so much so that all men are stupid, misogynistic, patriarchal hard-ons who only think about getting with women and the oppression of all minorities and people of color. And women are all stupid Karens or Barbie girls or soccer moms who either try to get a ring on it for the man's money, or the Karen forced the man to marry her because, well, she's a Karen and she wants the money, and, soccer moms. Stereotypes have been around since antiquity, I am positive. It is an understood commonality in all cultures. It is history taught from stories of our forebears, and despite what people want to believe, stereotypes are real representations of many groups of people around the globe. The difference, though, is how those stereotypes are portrayed. There is a word that used to be quite common but has sort of been thrown out of the window of late, gone out of fashion, if you will. Comedy. Comedy is very quickly being demolished because people believe it is racist or sexist or phobic, all of the phobias. But it is not. Comedy is an escape from reality and a big sigh that the craziness the comic is talking about, thankfully, is not true. It's the subversion of expectations. Right now, we are wiping away stereotypes, and that craziness the comic was talking about is coming true. We are living in that subversive reality. We are eliminating white people and replacing them with people of color to create new stereotypes, or at least cement the old ones in. They openly mock white people, but if a white person mocked a person of color, it would be racist. They would be a bigot, and more than likely they would get cancelled. They openly talk about how stupid men are, that we are defined only by our whiteness, and that men are the new women. Does that make any sense to anyone? Men are the new women. They are trying to eliminate both men and biological women, specifically white, straight men. We get race swapped, sexual preference swapped, pronoun swapped characters that, I get it, are not real, but they are a part of the cultural zeitgeist. Wokeness is killing society and creating a much wider racial divide. I recently saw an amazing interview by the ultra-woke BuzzFeed News. Please note, I will rarely, if ever, use the words amazing and BuzzFeed in the same sentence. They were asking Marlon Wayans about woke culture, specifically if white chicks could be made in the current climate and culture wars. An aside, White Chicks is one of my favorite comedy movies. I can watch that movie over and over and laugh my bloody ass off. It is just genuinely funny. Not only are the Wayans brothers going Indian, they're going white, they're going girl, but not in a trans 2022 way, but in a no-holds-barred, we don't give a fuck, we're going to make fun of a common stereotype that you will laugh at because you know it's true. And I promise you, it will be bloody brilliant. Wayans said, quote, I think they're needed. I don't know what planet we're on, where you think people don't need laughter, and that people need to be censored and cancelled. If a joke is going to get me cancelled, thank you for doing me that favor, end quote, he told BuzzFeed. Quote, It's sad that society is in this place where we can't laugh anymore. I ain't listening to this damn generation, unquote. Link to that article in the description. I am so glad that slowly people are realizing that woke is utter bollocks. Black Adam is absolutely hated and has been panned by the critics, but loved by the fans. The critics are pissing themselves trying to get over the fact that the fans don't want woke. They don't want to be preached to and told how they need to think, and to censor all of their words or thoughts, and white men should be hated, and biological women need to be cancelled, and the list goes on. But then the other side yells, we can't be racist, we have no power, we are oppressed. Most recently, Lizzo, when she won some awards, spoke about how oppressed she was. Do you know her backstory? She was raised by two parents who were relatively well off. She was able to go to university. She trained as a classically trained flautist and has an amazing music career. She's got money, comfort, power, prestige that comes with being a musical artist. How f***ing oppressed can she really be? But maybe, in some form, she is. Who am I to know or judge? Is updating for a modern audience, aka race gender swapping, the new blackface against white people? That's the question I'm proposing. I know that is a very, very challenging and dangerous question to ask. I'm not trying to start an argument or get myself cancelled. I'm not downplaying the horrific stereotypes typified by minstrel shows in film, television, and live stages back in the Jim Crow era. They were hurtful stereotypes against persons of color, but that was the society at the time, and I was not a part of it, nor can I do anything about it now. Remove that presentism from your mind. There are the rare occasions when Halloween costumes are perceived as racist. I am not talking about Halloween costumes. I am not talking about the perceived cultural appropriation of Halloween costumes either. I am talking about the same thing white people did to persons of color back then to white people now, just, quote, updated for a modern audience. They are not using makeup as before. They are completely eliminating the white person altogether. Updated for a modern audience. The next big question is, can people of color even be racist? Most people will say absolutely not, in any way, shape, or form. Let's take a look at the definition of racist. Prejudiced against or antagonistic towards a person or people on the basis of their membership in a particular racial or ethnic group, typically, but not always, one that is a minority or marginalized. The definition of racism is almost identical to racist. Prejudice, discrimination, or antagonism directed against a person or people on the basis of their membership in a particular racial or ethnic group, typically but not always, one that is a minority or marginalized. Most people throw the word oppression or to oppress in the definition. I looked at several places to find varied definitions, and though some did include to oppress or oppression, the ones without the words oppression or to oppress were the overwhelming standard. Racism, by definition, generally says nothing about oppression or to oppress a specific racial or ethnic group. Some persons will say to antagonize is the same thing, but no, to antagonize means to cause someone to become hostile. And that is what is happening now. People are becoming hostile towards whites, both men and biological women. Studies are showing that in as early as 2044, just one generation away, that is not very far away at all, non-Hispanic whites will become one of the multiple minorities. If whites then are a minority, does that mean that they still will not be able to experience racism or racist rhetoric? Right now, more than 400 US counties are now minority white. I have read so many articles and opinions that people of color do not have the capacity to be racist, but yet we see it every day. You can just go on woke TikTok or TikTok in general. No, don't do that actually. We need to respect people. Humans. We all bleed red. I know that is so overused, but think about it. We can swap organs and blood into other humans regardless of the color of their skin. Why are we so focused on who stayed in the sun longer and developed a natural protectant over time to shield their skin from the sun's harmful rays? Why is everything about race? I really think it's more of a cultural divide that needs to be fixed, hemmed up. Race is a social construct that needs to be demolished along with woke culture and the damning of men and biological women. Also, we need people to create new IP with racially rich, diverse characters instead of hanging off of the coattails of the great writers before them, stealing their IP canon and subverting it to propel a woke agenda. Just create characters that make us laugh, cry, dream about, love, and want to come back to watch next week and see what happens. I know you are out there, you writers, animators, producers, actors, showrunners, and I am looking for you. Get inspired. Let's create something new, something richly diverse, funny, sad, dramatic, not overly sexual, and with no agenda but to be entertaining. Am I crazy? Or am I just in a dreamland of my own creation, along with the other SJW wokesters? Let me know in the comments. Thank you for watching Trigger Warning if you made it this far. If you liked what you heard, please like and subscribe. If not, thank you for listening anyway. Take care of yourself and other people. You are amazing, and we all deserve to be happy. Have a great day.